Good morning. So glad to join you guys today. We're going to be talking about how to grow your business on a budget. So I've got some great tools and resources, some of which are free or very low cost, but really how you can focus on driving more business with your marketing efforts. I'm Victoria Byrne. I'm the founder of Creative Marketing Services. And for the past 15 years, we've helped a wide range of clients from startups and small businesses, and also worked with large corporations and Fortune 500 clients on a wide range of marketing initiatives, from custom website design and development to digital marketing, strategy, implementation, and branding. I'm also a Constant Contact certified solution provider, and I encourage you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services, where we share tips and resources specifically for small businesses, and of course, my upcoming webinars. And today's session is being recorded, so you'll get a copy of the recording. In addition, Christine will also be sending out a copy of my presentation slides that you can refer back to. I've got some resources and links in my presentation for you today as well. Feel free to be posting questions in chat as we go through our session today. And I also have a dedicated session at the end. So again, Christine will be sending you the slides and recording as a follow-up to today's event. So when we're looking at how to best stretch your marketing budget and really drive more results, it definitely starts with your marketing budget. So one of the first things I recommend for businesses to do is certainly not only just establish your budget, but really having the right tracking and tools in place to evaluate how well your marketing efforts are paying off. You know, take a really hard look at, if you haven't already kind of reestablished or updated your budget for this year, take a hard look at what you've learned from your marketing initiatives from last year. You know, assess your goals. What are you really looking to accomplish this year? Are you looking to drive more attendees at your venue? Are you looking to gain more market share, to expand your product offerings? And definitely focus on a growth strategy. Of course, these days, we all know how important it is to have that strong online presence and be found, and drive some cost-effective digital marketing initiatives in place, because so much business is continuing to be online as prior to COVID starting. We're going to talk about today as well not only some free and low-cost resources, but the importance of prioritizing your digital marketing efforts and knowing that it's never just one thing. It's not just email campaigns. It's not just SEO. It's really, you're going to see the best results when you develop a combination of different marketing initiatives. And certainly, I definitely recommend, especially in today's environment, that you're testing and trying something new, whether or not it's a new channel you haven't been active on or different offers or promotions. And very importantly, it's important that your budget is measurable, right? Too often I come across small businesses that have a budget in place, but they can't really break down the return on investment. So it's imperative that you have the right tools and tracking in place. Is it your Google Ads that's driving the most conversions? Not just the traffic to your website, but what is actually converting into a lead or a sale or an event registration, for example. And making sure that you have things like Google Analytics in place to track that for your website activity as well. And certainly as a small business, you can absolutely do things in phases. I recommend, especially if you're looking at getting started or ramping up your digital marketing efforts, to start off with a bit more of a conservative budget. The key is, of course, that you have a consistent budget that you're spending. But once you are testing and trying new methods, new channels, and seeing what's really driving your return on investment, that's the time to ramp up, because you know it's going to drive more sales or leads. One of the key things to think about when you're looking at your marketing budget is it's an investment. It's not an expense. So when we see these times of inflations or business slowing down, too often I see businesses want to cut back on their marketing. Well, it's actually an investment that's going to deliver value and drive more business. So that's the time to increase your investment in your digital marketing efforts, because ultimately marketing is a catalyst that spurs and drives new opportunities. So today I want to take some time out to highlight some of my favorite free resources and very low-cost resources that you might not be aware of that are great opportunities to stretch your budget. Number one, let's talk about free resources. So are you familiar with an organization called SCORE? SCORE is a national organization that's funded by the SBA, and they have chapters throughout the country. In fact, in Long Beach, there's SCORE Long Beach South Bay. They offer no cost mentoring. No cost at all. You can meet with a certified mentor and meet with them via Zoom or email or phone, and have educational webinars and marketing and business plans. So if you're just getting started, they have great resources for startups, helping you to develop your business plan, defining your target audience, kind of putting together your marketing strategy. Now, they don't do the work for you, but they're a great resource to provide guidance. So I've included the link to their website, but I highly recommend you take a look at, especially if you're looking at growing your business, meet with one of their certified mentors. And then, of course, another great resource is the SBA, Small Business Administration. They have a learning center, there's local assistance, and I've included a link here. So why not take advantage of those amazing free resources for small businesses? Now, of course, when it comes to social media doesn't cost you a thing to be on any of your social media sites. And it's important as a business that you have that visibility and consistency that you are sharing content, right, to be seen. One of the tools I recommend is called Buffer. So it's buffer.com, and they have a free plan. Essentially what it does, it's a social media dashboard, and it allows you to connect up to 3 of your social media accounts for free. So say, for example, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, and it lets you pre-schedule your posts. So you don't have to be in Facebook today if you're going to be posting, or Twitter or Instagram. And I do recommend that you're being strategic about your posts. Now think about scheduling them out 2 weeks in advance. Of course, giving yourself room to be able to, post some newsworthy content, but using a tool like this saves a lot of time, and it's also available at no cost. You can also engage with your fans. So if people are posting or commenting on your posts, then you can engage with them. And of course, it's got the scheduling tool. So Buffer, there's a lot of different scheduling toolers out there, but Buffer is free. I used to promote Hootsuite, but Hootsuite did get rid of their free plan. But Buffer is still available for free. It's just such a huge time sink. Plus, if you also have people on your team that is actually managing or creating your social media content, and you want to review and approve it before it gets published, that's a great way to be able to use this type of tool. They can pre-schedule, set everything as drafts, and you can go in and review and provide approval before anything ever gets published and sees the light of day. So again, their free plan, you can connect up to 3 social media accounts, and even their essential plan with, of course, more bells and whistles is very affordable at $5 a month. Now, if you are not familiar with Canva, I highly recommend checking out Canva because it's so important for any of your digital marketing efforts that you have professional looking graphics. And with Canva, you don't have to be a graphic designer to create amazing graphics or videos or GIF images. So canva.com has a free plan. They also have business plans, but with Canva, they have hundreds and thousands of different templates, everything from your Facebook post, if you want to create an animated Instagram story, business cards, flyers, and it's an amazing drag and drop interface. So for example, you choose one of their templates and you can easily customizing it, put in your own logo and your branding colors, your own photos and or videos as well. And it's just an endless possibility. So great opportunities to really look polished and professional in all of your digital marketing efforts. The free plan is amazing with everything that you get. I mean, look at that, 250,000 free templates to choose from, hundreds of stock photos, you can see the list here. I do recommend, give it a try if you haven't used it before. But for businesses, I do recommend that you consider the Pro plan. It's about $120 a year. And that gives you so much more advanced features. So for example, you can upload your logo and your color. So now you have a branding style guide that you can easily refer to. Endless number of stock photos, video templates. So if you really want to really stand out, use that across all of your digital efforts, even in your website graphics. Canva is an amazing resource. So those of you that attended our webinar last week, this is the second of 3 webinars for Zaferia. Google Analytics is imperative because it is, number one, it's free, right? So make sure you're signing up for Google Analytics and getting that tracking code on your website, because without it, you're flying blind. How do you know what's driving the calls or the leads or the sales coming into your business? How well are people engaged on your website? So one of the things to be aware of is there's a big change happening with Google Analytics. So universal analytics is what has been in place for many, many years. And now, starting in July, Google Analytics 4, or what's known as GA4, is going to be rolling out. So at that time, as of July 1st, universal analytics will no longer be tracking any data. So Google's making it easy for businesses. They're automatically transitioning if you have an existing universal account to GA4. However, one important note is if you have any goal and conversion tracking in place on Google right now, you're going to have to reset that up for GA4. And one of the key differences with Google Analytics 4 is that measurement is based on events. So one thing to keep in mind. So I did want to highlight some of the key areas. You know, the beautiful thing about Google Analytics is it's very comprehensive. So I just wanted to cover some of the key metrics that I recommend that you're looking at on a monthly basis to really track the performance of not only your website, but of course your digital marketing efforts. So the screenshots that I'm sharing with you today are universal analytics. So these, you'll see things that are going to look a little different when you have Google Analytics 4. But first and foremost, how many people are coming to your website? How long are they spending on your site? Are they quickly leaving? Are they visiting many pages? These are all key things to track in terms of performance. And of course, what percentage of traffic is brand new? Are you driving new quality traffic to your website every month? Another important factor to really look at with your Google Analytics is called acquisition. In other words, how did people find your website? Was it through your social media efforts? Was it they found you on conducting a Google search, through your email campaigns? So not only taking a look at how much traffic each of those channels are generating for you, but important, how well are they converting? Are they driving sales or leads? So really help you pinpoint your return on investment and be willing to make changes based on what you're seeing. Now, for any of you that have an e-commerce site, you want to make sure and set up e-commerce tracking is also free in Google Analytics. And again, the key is it gives you a breakdown of the different channels and what's the activity, but more importantly, what's driving conversion. So in this particular case, this company is heavily invested in SEO and getting in the rankings with Google, and those efforts are absolutely paying off. By far, it's driving the most amount of sales compared to any other channel. Another key metric to take a look at is certainly how are your efforts on social media paying off? You know, for example, on Facebook, are you getting a lot of traffic, but do they leave within a few seconds? We see that very often is, you know, businesses are spending a good deal of money advertising, say, on social media, and they see they're getting a lot of traffic, but they're not staying around. They're not converting, say, on Facebook. But their Instagram traffic is absolutely spending more time and converting better. So that's why it's important that you don't just look at any of your reports from social media ads, but you also are taking a good look at this, how it converts to Google Analytics as well. So Google has so many amazing free tools for businesses. In addition to Google Analytics, Google My Business is something I highly recommend that you set up because it's at no cost. And what it does is it puts you on the map. So when you're doing a search for a business, a local business, or product or service, you'll be showing up on the map. So claim your listing on Google My Business and make sure that if you've had a listing for a while, take a look at it, update it, get your keywords in there, make sure it has accurate information. You can also upload information as far as posts and our videos. And what's really important is it also allow you to have reviews. So that's another great way to be seen in the search results. Another free tool from Google is called the Google Keyword Planner. So this requires you to have a Google Ads account. You don't ever have to pay a dime running ads, but you do have to have a credit card on file. So if you're looking for help to identify what are the keywords you should be focused on for your SEO efforts, go ahead and create a list of the top keywords that you think your target audience would be searching for, that you want to be ranked for, that you want to be instantly found. You can upload that list to the Google Keyword Planner. Not only will it show you the search volume, how many people are searching for that term or phrase, how competitive that keyword phrase is. But one of the other things that's super beneficial, it will also show you what are the related keywords, that ones that you might not have even thought about. They're maybe much less competitive and you have a much better chance of ranking for if you focus on those keyword tools. Another great free resource is HubSpot has Blog Ideas Generator. So I highly recommend, if you want to be found in the search results, that you're investing in ongoing adding new content to your website, and having a blog on your website is a great way to do so. So if you go to their site, you can go ahead and populate the information, and you go ahead and put in a couple of different nouns, and it will give you blog ideas for you. Another blog title generator is called the Hoth. And again, you'll get a copy of this presentation where you can refer back to the links I'm providing. This one is a little bit more specific. It will ask you a keyword you're looking to focus on. What's your desired outcome? What's the problem you're trying to solve for your readers? The name of your industry. And as a result, it will give you headline ideas. So there's so many great resources these days to really help you in terms of coming up with great content and focusing on that SEO effort for your business. Now, I highly recommend for every business, regardless of if you're just getting started or established, that you invest in email marketing, because it truly provides one of the best returns on investment. So if you haven't started with email marketing, come to our webinar next week at the same time here with Zaferia. We're going to be talking about top tips for email marketing performance, but also take a look at starting with Constant Contact. They offer a free 60-day trial. You can send out emails, see how that works. And then from there, it's in a very affordable. They have plans now that start at just $10 a month, or their Plus plan with more features and automation tools is at $45 a month. When it comes to your videos, of course, you want your videos to be seen by as many people as possible. So if you want to have a YouTube channel, absolutely. But when it comes to adding your videos to your website, I don't recommend using the YouTube link for a couple of reasons. Number one, the quality is typically diminished compared to other hosting channels. And number two, you don't really have control at the end of the video. It's going to show what they call related videos. I've seen that happen on many websites where they're showing inappropriate content, or even your competitors on your own website. So don't get me wrong, YouTube is absolutely a place you want to get your video. But if you're going to have videos on your website, I recommend you use Vimeo. Vimeo has a free plan, and you can upload your videos there and then share that link on your website. So people are still going to watch your video on your website from start to finish. Number one, significantly better quality than if you pulled in the link from YouTube. Number two, it's not going to show related videos that you have control over. It's only going to show your other videos. So Vimeo is a great resource for that. And another free resource is HubSpot. They have an amazing CRM tool that is great for small businesses. Now, of course, with any of these plans, they have paid options as well, but their free plan is great. So it has a CRM tool, customer relationship management tool. So being able to keep track of your customers, your leads, tracking information. So for example, if I'm speaking with a lead, I can go ahead and enter them into HubSpot, and I can set different tasks, like a reminder task. I need to follow up with them within 2 days. I can track whether or not they're in the sales process, if they become a client. And it's such an important resource to be able to have to track not only all of your customers, but also your leads as well. So I highly recommend CRM, HubSpot, and it's a great, easy to use resource for small businesses. Okay, so that kind of goes over my top recommendations for free and low cost resources. And now I want to look at other ways to show you how to focus on growth of your business. Number one, we talked about this last week for those of you that attended, is the importance of prioritizing your website, really making it the hub, the foundation of your digital marketing efforts, because you only have a few seconds to connect with your audience. They don't find what they like, what they see within a few seconds, chances are you're going to lose them. So it's imperative that you are designing your website for your target audience. Too often we come across business websites we evaluate and they're written for themselves. They're not beneficial for their target audience. You want to make sure not only the look and feel, but the messaging that you have is very benefits driven. So take a look at your website. It might have been a while before you took a deep dive in evaluating it. How well is the website performing for you? Are people, again, staying on the site very long? Are they viewing multiple pages? Importantly, are they converting? Are you getting sales and leads from that? Too often we come across e-commerce sites and there's ways to streamline the checkout process, or maybe things aren't working as properly as they should, which is obviously going to hamper your results. And you want to make sure you have the right tools and resources in place to make sure you're really tracking your return on investment, your number of leads or your number of sales. And just like I demonstrated a few minutes ago with Google Analytics, you can see what channel is driving the most sales and leads for you. Updating your website at least once a month. For most small businesses, we find that adding new content, for example, 2 new blog articles on a monthly basis can have a good impact on helping you with your search rankings. And of course, companies that are investing in their website, taking a look at their analytics, are willing to make changes. You've got to be willing to test and try different offers to see what's really going to drive best results. So think about, when's the last time your website had a refresh? Maybe it's time for a refresh, or maybe even a new website. A lot of businesses are investing since it's such a strong factor in terms of driving new business these days. Again, you've got to invest in your website. It's not good enough to just have it up there. If you're really looking to drive best results, you're going to be very active in your ongoing investment of your site. So when people are on your site, let's look at ways that we can help get you more conversions, more calls, more sales, more registration. And that's incorporating lead capture and an exit intent forms as well. So here's an example of a leadership coach at Erica Kelly Enterprises. So once you're on their website, for a few seconds, they have an opt-in form. Get started today, right? Because not everybody's going to make that sale or give you a call that first time on your website. Give them an incentive to sign up and give your email address, right? Whether or not maybe you're going to give them a discount if you're e-commerce, or if you're B2B, maybe you're going to give them a consultation or a white paper to download, or maybe a video series. Give them that hook to get that information. Also incorporating exit intent forms. So not only looking at capturing that email for a first-time visitor, but also wait before you leave. Those are great ways to absolutely drive more conversions on your website. And one of the key factors to keep in mind is having these dynamic pop-up forms. We see upwards of 150% higher conversion rates. So utilizing some tools that can help you with that. And then, of course, once people have signed up for your emails, why not automate it? Send them an automated series of emails. For example, a welcome email that goes out to them within seconds of them signing up. That's going to be the peak interest. When people are providing their email address, they're looking to get that first email from you. So think about not only a welcome email, but a series of emails that will help nurture those leads. Highlight some of your best reviews or your video or testimonials. Think about when you're working with a particular lead, what are some of the tipping points to get you to get that conversion? Include that in an automated series for you. So of course, this would require using an email service provider like we talked about earlier, like Constant Contact. The tool that I would recommend to create these dynamic pop-up forms and exit intent forms is called Opt-in Monster. And it is a paid service. It starts about $25 a month, but it allows you to create these pop-up forms. Really easy to use drag and drop interface. So from this example here, you can see they're going to offer a flash sale. 50% off t-shirts. They even have a countdown. And of course, in order to get that promo code, your visitor is going to have to provide the email address that syncs up with your website, syncs up with your email service provider, and they're instantly going to receive an email with that promo code while they're still on your website. You can also do personalization. One of the reasons why I really am a fan of Opt-in Monster is because of the advanced settings. So one of the things that the dynamic pop-up forms, sometimes they get a bad rap is because they're not done properly. You don't want to constantly be sending that pop-up form to every visitor if they keep coming back to your website. Let's just give it to them the first time they're visiting, for example. And as I mentioned, you get great tracking and integrates with your email service providers as well. So we talked about the importance of the hub and foundation of your digital marketing is your website. Now, how are you going to drive quality traffic? Because of course, having a website is not enough. You really need to invest in digital marketing efforts. So of course, it's more important than ever that you are investing in digital marketing because you've got to be found in the search results to drive more business these days. And taking a look at the opportunities, there's so many great cost-effective ways. And as I mentioned earlier, you can absolutely start on a kind of a conservative budget and then scale up from there once you start seeing results. But ultimately, you're going to need to have a mix of marketing initiatives to drive best results. Again, it's not just your email or just your SEO efforts. It's really where you see the right combination of different initiatives. So in terms of top priorities, absolutely focus on customer retention because it's so much more cost effective to grow your business with existing customers. Now, of course, number two is you've got to continue to focus on driving new quality leads as well, but know that that's going to be more costly than growing your business. So I encourage you to take a look at what initiatives do you have in place to drive more business with your existing customers, because acquiring a new customer can cost 5 times more than retaining an existing customer. A slight increase in your retention. So if you're retaining more of your clients or your customers, can increase profits from 25 to 95%. And the success rate of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%. Think about it. You've already won them over with your products or services, while the success rate of selling to a new customer is between 5 and 20%. And obviously it's going to vary based on your industry as well. So in terms of adding content to your website, does adding events count as updating content? Absolutely. So think about all the different types of content you can be adding. One of the things to really keep in mind is you want to be incorporating your keywords when you're adding content to your website. Excuse me. So adding blog articles, adding events, special offers, insider tips, frequently asked questions, testimonials. Those are all great ways to add new content to your site on a monthly basis. So as I said this before, I recommend every business invest in email marketing. In fact, more than 40% of companies have intended that they're going to increase their email marketing efforts, even more so than in the past, because it's such a great investment. Essentially, for every dollar you spend on email marketing, there's a return on investment of $36. So with email marketing, hugely beneficial. Number one, you're keeping top of mind with your audience. So I recommend that you're sending out at least a monthly email campaign, whether or not it's a newsletter, promotion, or upcoming events to your database. And again, be thinking of that strategy of how are you going to drive more business with your existing customer base. That's a great way to keep top of mind with them. As we talked about, it's very affordable. It's easy to measure results if you're using an email service provider. You'll be able to see if people are opening your email, and more importantly, are they clicking on any of your calls to action within your email? And of course, it allows for very targeted messaging. So not only can you personalize not only the greeting with their name, but based on their interaction. So for example, if you are highlighting an upcoming event and you're announcing the fact that tickets are now available, if they click on that link, now you can segment them and put them into a new list. Okay, people that clicked through, had some interest in that event. Now you can send them an automated series of emails because you know that they are interested in that event, for example. And of course, great opportunity to drive more business. With email marketing, it really is so easy these days to quickly send out an email to drive immediate results. Here's a great example from the Green Tomato Grill. With all the rain we've been having, they get out on rainy days, warm soup and rainy days, and they're offering a $3 discount on purchases of that day. So within a few minutes, they're sending out an email and driving sales within that same day. So think about those types of offers that you can get that are so timely. Also with email marketing, you can do so much with automation tools. So it does take a little bit of time to just get things set up and running, but maximize your automation tools for you, help them work for you. So we talked about the importance of having a welcome series. When people come to your website, entice them to sign up for your emails and then send them an automated series. You can do that for new subscribers. For new leads, a lot of businesses we work with are B2B, and they might be speaking to a lead, and then as soon as they're done, they drop them into a list, and they're automatically going to receive a specific email series. So of course, because you're going to be speaking to your leads differently than you would your existing customers, you're trying to win their business. Birthday campaigns, what a great way to give back to your customers, right? So very easily to do. You can set it up once and it's going to work throughout the entire year. Of course, it does require that you have their birth date or their birthday month. That's really easy to get. Let them know that you're going to give them a special offer or some kind of reward on their birthday. Same thing with anniversary events. This is another automation tool that you can easily do. And for those of you that are e-commerce, of course, you all know about the cart abandonment rate is really high these days. It's about 70% of the time people will add something to the cart and never check out. So you want to make sure that you have, number one, those exit intent forms that I shared earlier, but also an automatic email that's cart abandonment. So if they didn't check out, you're going to automatically send them an email that will incentivize them to go back and check out. So here's an example of the welcome series that we do at CMS when people sign up for our emails. First and foremost, it goes out within seconds of people signing up. And one of the things to keep in mind when you're doing these type of campaigns is you want to make sure that it is evergreen content. So for example, we're promoting our upcoming webinar series and driving people to our website to see the full calendar of events. I'm not putting next week's webinar date and time in here because that will quickly get outdated. A second email goes out a week later, and we're sharing one of our most popular blog articles. So best practice is you're not including the entire article within your email. You're including a photo, a graphic, an excerpt, and the link to read more to ultimately drive more traffic back to your website. And lastly, we do provide a complimentary 30-minute consultation for any business owner who signs up for our email. So that is going out the third week. And then, of course, we're highlighting some of our best testimonials as well. So these are the type of welcome email campaigns that I highly recommend that you get in place if you don't already have, because they're very easy to set up and they're working for you 24/7 to drive more business. So one of the other channels to take a look at is SEO, right? So it's important that your website gets found when people are searching for you, and that doesn't happen overnight. So SEO is definitely a long-term strategy, but it's a great way to target quality traffic, people that are interested in searching for your types of products or services. Of course, a huge benefit is you're not paying for the ads, right? You're not paying to be at the top of the search. It's called earned media, right? You're earning your position there. It tends to get more clicks than pay-per-click ads or even Google ads. Sometimes people will automatically always skip over ads. Now, obviously, Google ads is very popular and it drives results, but you also have an audience that might be clicking over that. Again, it's a long-term strategy. And certainly if you're in a very highly competitive industry, it could take a lot more time and effort, or you might need to hire an agency that specializes in SEO. But I've seen great results for a lot of small businesses that employ a lot of these techniques themselves and get well in the rankings. It can be relatively inexpensive, especially if you're doing it yourself. And of course, the importance is that you are looking at tools to help you track your measurable results. Too often I come across businesses that indicate that they have very high rankings with the search results. And when we look at it, the rankings are high for their own company name. And that's kind of a no-brainer. Any company should rank well. But when it comes to looking at transactional keyword phrases that are actually going to convert to sales or convert to business, that's what you want to make sure that you're taking a look at tools that will help you in terms of seeing what your performance is. Are all these efforts paying off? A couple of different tools I can recommend. One of them is called SEMrush, and another one is called Moz. And you can look at those services and they'll provide tracking as well. So feel free to be posting questions in the chat. Again, I will have a dedicated section here at the end, but in the meantime, go ahead and post your questions away. So in terms of the SEO phrases, are they just text on a page? Great question, Christine. So with your SEO efforts, it's really across the board. Number one, you've got to identify the right keyword phrases that you're going to focus on. Number two, you want to incorporate those keyword phrases within the content of your website. Typically, you want to have at least 300 to 500 words per page of your website. So for example, you're going to want to have that keyword phrase within that page content 3 to 4 times. Now, you're going to go ahead and populate the alt or the meta description of what is actually displayed in the search results, as well as your SEO title. And then, of course, anytime you're uploading a graphic or a photo to your website, you want to make sure you're populating the alt text field. So, we could do a whole session today just on SEO, but those are just some of the best practices. So it's getting the keywords in your content, but then also on your website through your titles, your meta descriptions, and populating the alt text as well. It's kind of like your first step is doing the on-site SEO, and then ongoing, as we talked about, adding new content on a monthly basis that incorporate your keywords as well. Now, another great way to drive quality traffic quickly to your site compared to SEO, which is a long-term strategy, is of course Google Ads. So it's termed pay-per-click, PPC. So you're only paying if somebody actually clicks on your ads. So it instantly puts you at the top of the search results and can drive quality traffic very quickly to your site. The downside, of course, is that you're paying to be at the top of the search results. And you've got to go through a little bit of what's called a learning curve with any time you're launching new paid ads. In other words, once you launch your ads, are people engaging with it? And you're having to test and try new messaging, to change your audience targeting, to really see what's driving the return on investment, and then increase your ad spend. Too often I see that small businesses put too much into their ad spend with Google before they get through that learning curve, and it's really wasting ad spend. So start out more conservative, test and refine, get to that point where you're seeing results, then that's the point to increase your sales. And again, it tends to be more costly than other channels. So running ads on Google is going to be more expensive than running ads on social media. But you also have to keep in mind the difference between the two. So Google ads are displaying at the top of the search results at the time people are searching for your product or service. Whereas social media ads are brand awareness campaigns. You can create a very targeted audience, but you're pushing your ad into their news feed. So they're not necessarily searching for your product or service. For a lot of businesses we work with, we're testing Google ads and social media to see really what's driving not only the most traffic, but of course, bottom line, the return on investment and conversion. So if you've kind of dabbled with one or the other, take a look at potentially doing a test between Google ads and social media ads as well. In terms of Google ads, there's a lot of very specific targeting. So for example, if your business is only open Monday through Friday and you don't have anybody answering the phones on the weekends, you can set the date and time that your ads are running. You can set geographic targeting. There's a lot of very specific targeting that you can set in terms of your Google ads as well. As we talked about earlier, the importance of social media. So organic posts, which means you're sharing content that you're not paying for, of course, and a great opportunity to be building an online community and your brand awareness, really helping you stand out compared to your competition and being seen as a thought leader. But it does require you to really invest in at least boosting your posts, for example, on Facebook and Instagram to get more visibility. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Maybe even it's $20 on a post to really significantly increase your reach And of course, social media, every channel has your ability for paid ads as well. So the ads are affordable, like I said, especially compared to Google ads, but importantly is the testing and seeing what your audience, is it really converting compared to a Google ad? Or if you have more of a limited budget, maybe you'll start with social media ads, see if that's working for you as well. So I want to show you some examples of some social media ads. So our first one is Construction Experts. They're an amazing resource and they offer online construction courses, and they're promoting their upcoming registration. So they drive a great deal of registrations from their social media ads, and they're also running ads with Google. Quality Assured Collision Center happens to be in the Zaferia district. They do a great job with running both social media and Google ads to drive more business and quality leads. And Academy 831, they're a small dance studio in Brea, and a great opportunity. Again, they're promoting their 7-day pass. So again, with any of these initiatives, you've got to be able to invest in the time and energy and be patient to test and try new initiatives to drive more business. Of course, customer review sites are so important because they influence so many purchase decisions. So these days, about 70% of customers or consumers rely on reviews before making a purchase. So that's why I recommend, again, get your Google My Business account set up and enable reviews. But look at ways you can increase credibility between Google My Business with your reviews, Yelp, Angie. And with all of them, there's advertising opportunities, of course. We have seen a big change in social media ads, of course, with the iOS update that happened quite a while back, where a lot of service-based businesses were actually scaling back their advertising on social media, and having them advertise on Yelp for a minimum of $300 a month is really driving great results. So again, you've just got to be willing to test and try new initiatives. So in terms of your digital marketing, it can maybe seem a little bit overwhelming. There's certainly a lot that you can do yourself as a business owner, but also take a really good look at what is your time worth? You know, is your marketing taking away from running the business, or you're not able to focus on strategy or just doing implementation, or if you're not happy with the results? You know, a lot of agencies will work with you. You know, for example, a lot of our clients, they're doing their organic posts, but they hire us to do the online ads. So it can be very much of a partnership approach. And then, of course, another great way to stretch your budget is focusing on strong relationships. Referral marketing can be so strong, right? So look at professional networking groups. You know, obviously, a lot of you are members of Zaferia, which is fantastic, but are you also members of things like Chambers of Commerce or BNI, Business Networking International, or meetup groups, right? There are groups specifically for business professionals like Provisors. Vistage is for CEOs. SCORE, that I mentioned earlier, has a CEO forum. I mean, you really can't beat a personal recommendation and referral. So think about a lot of these, you know, obviously developing relationships takes time, but through a lot of these and different types of groups, you can build referral partners. So you have a constant stream of people referring to you, which is so powerful. And of course, look at ways you can develop strategic partnerships. So for example, a chiropractor and a Pilates studio might have a strategic partnerships. So the chiropractor is referring his clients or his patients to the Pilates studio because they need to stretch, they need to exercise. And vice versa, the Pilates instructors are hearing about the aches and pains and sending them to the chiropractor. So it's a great opportunity to increase your expertise and resources. And of course, provide incremental sales. Think about cross-promoting each other and providing that extra value for your customers or your clients. And lastly, think about a great referral program. Of course, it all starts with providing an excellent experience with your clients or customers, but reach out to your top clients. Let them know how much you value their business and would really appreciate you sharing your information with their friends and family. So, you know, really help to utilize that word of mouth. Think about a referral friend program, offer an incentive, a lot of great opportunities as well. Okay, so that kind of concludes our presentation today. So feel free to be posting in chat with any questions you have in our remaining time. And I also did want to highlight the third of our installment for webinars for Zaferia is next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about email marketing top tips for success. So you can visit the Zaferia website to register. And of course, I invite you to connect with us at Creative Marketing Services. And I've included a link here where you can opt in to get our monthly newsletter with tips and resources and all of my upcoming webinars as well. So let's go ahead and turn it over to any other questions we might have today. Go ahead and post in chat. You know, one of the top questions I get asked from small businesses, you know, across the board, regardless of industry, is where to start. You know I know I need to invest in digital marketing, but where to start? I would recommend certainly with your website, of course, your SEO and your email marketing at the very minimum, right? And then look at exploring some paid ads or different initiatives as well, but really getting that strong baseline. Again, with email marketing, I definitely recommend that you're doing minimum 1 email per month. But in next week's presentation, I'm going to be giving you a lot of very specific ideas and recommendations in terms of how to get best results, not only with a monthly email, but actually sending out more targeted and segmented emails for even better results as well. I understand posting on social media, but I need foot traffic more than likes. Any advice? Great. So of course, being present on social media is important for every business these days, but is it ultimately driving more business for you rather than just getting people to engage with you? So one of the things I would recommend is making sure that you are leveraging your social media with your email marketing efforts. So for example, if you're not already doing email marketing, get that going. Now, on social media, post the fact that you have an email sign up, and you might give it incentives. Remember, you're going to give a sweepstakes, enter to win, and build that quality email database, and now market to get people to come into your door. So those are some techniques I would definitely recommend exploring. Let's see. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
You kind of touched on this last week about negative comments on social media and how to, just address it and then, just be kind and offer to take it offline or call them or whatever. What are your feelings about deleting negative comments? Or I see a lot of these on social, these sort of strangers posting, share this on such and such a site, share this on, or, post on this site. I see that all the time now. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on those? First of all, removing those or blocking those folks or using them?
Yeah, so unfortunately these days, a lot of people are targeting, social media profiles that have good engagement and a large fan base. Mm-hmm. So for that reason, like for example, Zaferia might have been posting about this event on their social media channels, and then all of a sudden you have people commenting and they're highlighting their own business or links to them, but more importantly, they're more spam than anything. So one of the things you can do when you truly see that somebody is, spamming, or if it's not even related to your business, you can certainly block them on social media as one step to do. But, if somebody has negative comments, regardless, like you said, if it's on social media or through reviews, it's good to address it and then try to take it offline. But, you want to be monitoring your social media for those reasons and be responsive to any of those types of comments.
How would you know if it's spam?
Sometimes it's very obvious, right? So for example, I'm providing a review for, maybe somebody's posting on Zaferia's timeline on Facebook, and they're talking about an insurance scam agency, and they went through and did all these steps and they didn't get the results, but now they found the best answer ever. And here's the link to, get resolution to those types of things. That's clearly a spam. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a question to kind of piggyback on what she just asked. So I own a smoke shop, and I had a person make a comment on Google, and literally I'm the only person my husband and I that work here. So the comment that she made, it was like, you didn't even come to my store. So I handled the reply in a very professional manner. But I don't know if you have the ability to delete negative comments, or do you recommend leaving them to let people see, like, just say if someone does have something to say, that it's being handled in a correct manner to where they're like, oh, I'd give them a chance, or,
Absolutely. Great question. And one of the things that came up in our last week's webinar too, but it's really important to be paying attention to that. So one thing to know, both on Google and on Yelp, if somebody is posting, say, a negative review for you, and it's not even for your business, unfortunately, you can't delete them. You have no control over that. Even if you reach out to Google or Yelp and say, hey, this is clearly not for my business, somebody mistakenly posted a negative review, they won't take it down. They basically tell you it's up to you to respond to the person and ask them to take it down. So for any negative review, as you were just talking about, it's best practice to give feedback, and then kind of take it offline from there. But unfortunately, the way the review sites are set up, you're not going to be able to remove that review yourself. Yeah. So in terms of email marketing, Bill's talking about he wants to use email marketing, but he doesn't have a list. Can I buy a list of targets, even though I don't have their permission to contact them? Great question. I always recommend following best practices. I don't want you to be seen as a spammer. So I never recommend trying to just scour the internet and get lists or buy a list. And also, not only can it affect your reputation, but it tends to have a significantly lower conversion rate. So for many businesses, if you're just getting started, a good place to begin is friends and family, of course, get them into an email database, and then look at your opportunities. A couple of ways that you can drive a quality list, and of course, it's going to take time and energy, but it's well going to pay off, is on your website. We talked about having a form on your site, giving people an incentive to sign up when they're visiting your website. Number 2, on social media, promote the fact that you have an email sign up. Maybe even consider doing a sweepstakes on social media where you're running an ad, enter to win. And of course, part of the qualifications is that they have to provide their email address. So anytime you're doing a giveaway or a sweepstakes, you want to make sure that you're, up to date with whatever social channel you're on and what their, regulations are in regards to sweepstakes. But also you want to make sure that you are attracting an authentic audience of people who want to hear from you. So for example, if you're an insurance agent and you're going to be offering a free iPad, that doesn't really connect with your product or service. So tie that in. And then of course, another opportunity is to do, especially if you're just getting started, is to do direct mail. And then direct mail with a special offer, then of course requires them to sign up for your emails, and you're giving them a link to either a form or a page on your website where in order to activate that promo code. So those are some ways to grow a quality email database, but it definitely takes time and energy to do so, but well worth it. I do not recommend purchasing a list at all.
I have another question about the lead capture and intent forms. Can you set those to appear just on certain pages of your website? Because like we might want that to pop up on our events page, but not our directory page, because you don't want it to just bother someone if they're looking up a business.
Exactly. And that's, again, another reason why I like Opt-in Monster, the resource that I recommended, is for many clients, they have multiple services. So I shared the example of Erica Kelly Enterprises, and she offers, 5 or 6 different services. So for each service page, she has a different opt-in and then globally an exit intent on the site. So it's a really great way to do some targeted, lead capture. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other questions today? You can go ahead and just unmute yourself if you'd like. Okay. I could just ask questions on and on and on about SEO.
You always have good questions, Christine.
All that stuff. There's one question leads to another question always, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there aren't any more questions, we'll give you two more minutes of your day back to you. We will send out the slides that Victoria utilized and the recording of today's program. And I put a link in the chat to our events page where you can register for the next free webinar. That's next Wednesday. And we thank you all for attending and have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. See you next week.